transplant program at the Toronto General is the largest in Canada.
It's led in Canadian transplantation.
It is unique. It's unique in the world.
The program is a trailblazer.
In the 80s, it was a very exciting time in transplantation.
There was some competition because you had strong people at the General.
There was a burgeoning lung transplant program headed by Joel Cooper.
You had strong people at the Western.
There was a heart transplant program over at the Western.
People knew about our program. They knew the successes.
There were 2 kidney transplant programs, one at the Western, one at the General.
We're very proud of what we did and what we were accomplishing in those days.
And so you had these 4 disparate groups working totally independently.
In the 1980s, the fiscal state of our hospitals in Ontario basically was very, very strapped for cash.
And this created a significant crisis.
People really started looking at ways to cut down the budgets and cut down expenses.
We actually had to think about innovative solutions.
So the idea started to be circulated about merging 2 hospitals.
To bring hospital administrations together,
Some people didn't think it was possible.
as well as programs together.
To take 2 and make them 1.
They were very much against the merger. They saw it as a backward step.
And it felt somehow so destructive because both hospitals had excellent programs.
So there was a concern about programs moving to the General, where the culture was perceived to be quite different. It was more institutional.
There was a lot of fear and a lot of worry that jobs were going to be eliminated.
In the initial phases, there were some who did not recognize perhaps the value of what we were trying to accomplish.
The concept of building a multi-organ transplant unit was not easily acceptable.
People said, but how can a liver patient share a room with a kidney patient? They have nothing in common. And I said, they have everything in common. They're transplant patients. Let's not worry about which organ they're doing.
And some of us, including the lung program, were sort of dragged in kicking and screaming.
So the meetings around the merger, shall we say, were very interesting.
It became pretty clear that there was a lot of entrenchment.
People became heated.
Arguing about what protocols we were going to use and who was going to be in charge.
And the arms were waving. There were no punches that were thrown. We were all very respectful of each other.
It was the best of times and it was the worst of times.
And yet there was this idea that at the end of all of this, there might be something special there.
We saw the light and saw that, yes, it's a different model, but there are many advantages of it.
People who are involved and are committed to transplant are a certain breed. And if you want to live in the transplant world, and we did want to live in that world, we had to embrace it.
Their passion and the fact that they did fight so hard for what they wanted was the strength of the program. I kept telling them, but that's exactly what we want. We want lions. I remember that when we opened and this all started, there was great pride.
The people were just absolutely fantastic because of the fact that they did go through the change.
It didn't take very long before we had the sort of feeling that it was going to work.
There was a real aura of excitement, and I think it really spoke to the fact that everybody believed in the vision.
We began to work as a team and realized that we had to service the patients in the best way that we possibly could.
We worked towards the same goal of helping these recipients, also assisting the donors through the process of this experience and making it the best possible experience and outcome for them.
What makes it different is the ability to apply the principles of transplantation to all the different organ groups.
People in liver disease, in lung disease, in heart disease, in pancreas, just talk about issues that are so important to the transplant patient, I think made us all much, much better doctors.
We solve problems together. It's quite amazing, really, to see how it works. We're like a little village, really, of specialties. We have our own pharmacy. We've got our own infectious disease team.
The success was that integrated model. It was unique, not only to Toronto and Canada, it was unique to the world. There really were no models to build on.
Many people around the world look to us as an example of success in this field.
And the most amazing thing is that the benefit to the patients is really transformative. So they go from often being at death's door to to leading a normal life.
To me, the pillars of the program are the things that matter to the patients.
And everything we do is really centered around our patients and improving their lives.
We're getting better and better at looking after people with failing organs, whether it be your lung or your heart or your kidney or your liver.
People look to us to lead, and certainly we have done some very, very innovative things.
There are many firsts. The first successful transplants in many different categories in Ontario and in Canada and in some instances internationally.
What Shaft's done with the ex vivo lung has got to be considered a huge achievement.
To use donor lungs that could never be used before, that significantly increased the number of transplants.
We have outcomes research and clinical trials research, which is equal to any place in the world.
Our liver transplant team is on the verge of bringing clinically ex vivo liver perfusion. The kidney team's working on that. The heart team will be working on it.
We're pioneers in living donor liver transplantation.
We very routinely have surgeons and physicians and their whole teams coming from all around the world to learn how we do living donor liver transplantation.
We look at stem cell therapy. We look at the whole field of regenerative medicine.
Can we just build a new organ with your stem cells that is you? And these are very exciting opportunities and challenges for the multi-organ transplant program in the future.
We've trained a lot of the people that are involved in transplantation.
We literally get people from every country, I think, in the world coming.
And to take those skills back to where they came from.
To start transplant programs that emulate the one at the University Health Network.
I knew that this was going to be a winner because I knew the talent.
A lot of the Canadian leaders in transplantation remain at UHN.
They're in leadership positions in international societies.
This place attracts the best and the brightest because we are a multi-organ transplant unit.
The fact that we built MOT when it didn't exist, is probably its greatest achievement.
It really has been a trailblazer.
I don't think we would have accomplished if we had stayed separate.
It's much better in this large MOT form that we have now than it was as a small program. We can do so much more.
Its legacy is its great success and the fact that we were able to show that you can create integration. You you can break down the barriers, the resistance, and bring talent together.
And there's nothing more satisfying than that.
And what really came to be important in the end was still the patient and still the transplant and still the success. And we're all better people for having been part of it. What we do in transplantation is that we make magic and miracles.
This program has established things that are unparalleled in the world.
It inspires you every day in your work, and that's what keeps us here.
It was a privilege for me to be a part of it.
I enjoy every day of it. It's invigorating to be here. I love coming here.
I'm very proud of the program and always wish to share that with others.
It's an outstanding place, and I'm extraordinarily happy I moved, and I would say the most fulfilling part of my career has been here.
Still hard for me to believe. In many ways, it's like a dream come true.
Being a part of this has been my greatest pleasure and passion.
Every tiny triumph in this program belongs to all of us.